Hey all my crafty friends, Amber here, your close to my heart maker, and today we are going to discuss making cards in bulk. So we recently did a card swap, and I had some ladies say, you know, I really want to do it, but I just don't understand what goes into it. I'm scared. I'm nervous that they won't be as cute as everybody else's. I'm afraid it's going to cost me an arm and a leg. And so I wanted to do this video to kind of show you guys the way I go about doing a card swap or making bulk cards. I am working on my Christmas cards right now, and they're all the same. So they're a bulk card, and I wanted to go over some of my tips and tricks on saving money on doing them and how to get them done quick and simple. So first thing I do is I decide the size of my card, and for this one it is a 5x7 for my Christmas cards. And then I kind of think of what I want the layout to be. I know I wanted to do a white on white with an embossing on the white. I love the look of a smaller card front, or yeah, a smaller piece of paper on a card front that's white on white, and then taking that piece and embossing it. And so I went and dug in all of my embossing folders, and I found one of our past embossing folders, which was a buffalo check, and I love the way this looks. And so this was my starting point. Another thing is I like to create at least one card before I mass cut and mass do everything, because if it's something that's going to be too hard, take up way more product than I want it to, or anything like that, I'm not going to do it. So I like to get it out of the way before I waste my time and energy and money on it, right? So I knew this was my base. I knew I wanted to do a poinsettia, and so I went on my Cricut and I found a poinsettia from one of our collections. So I cut me one, and goes something like that. And I knew I wanted that about right here. And I look at a card layout kind of the same way I would look at my scrapbook layout, and kind of gauge it from there. So to me, this is just like a really small scrapbook page, right? So with this card, I decided I was going to do kind of an L format, and I went and found some paper that I had a lot of the same kind, and I cut me a strip like that, and I thought, oh cool, I really like that brown wood grain in there. And then I decided to pull in another small strip, but it's given a big impact. Now when you use a smaller strip, then you are going to be able to get more out of one sheet of paper, especially determining how many of the cards you're supposed to be making. Now I'm making 24 of these Christmas cards right now, and so I made sure to cut these where I could get all of my pieces with 3 sheets or less of the same paper, because I don't typically have a bunch of the same paper lying around. I typically only usually have about 2 to 3, 4 maybe sometimes. And so that's something else I like to look at and kind of do the math about how much paper it's going to take. Okay, so then I went from here and I said, okay, my poinsettia needs some more fun around it. And so I found some twigs, and I thought, oh yeah, that's going to be cool. Then I threw in some more twigs. Sorry, I have them all on this sheet because I knew I was going to lose them. Okay, so then I threw in some of these, and I thought, oh yeah, that looks really good. And then I was like, okay, I need sentiment. And that's where I went and dug through. I knew I wasn't going to have a place to stamp a sentiment directly on my card, simply because this is embossed. And so I went and took some of my scraps that were left over from cutting these pieces here, and I found a small Merry Christmas, and I knew I wanted it on top of this green so that it stood out more. And I'm just going to banner it, because bannering gives a fun dimension to your card without just having a bunch of more straight lines. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of lay that there. And I'm like, oh, okay, I really like the way this is turning out. Well, I put one together, okay, which is here. And this is why I do a sample, because I learned from my mistakes, okay? I did this and put it together, and then I thought, ooh, I want some more fun in here. Well, I decided I wanted to do this embroidery thread, and I'd already glued this down, and so I like to build my thread on a glue dot, which I'll show you guys because I'm going to put this together. So I built it, and then I had to stuff it back in there, and it was kind of a pain in the booty. So now I know when I go to make my mask cards, I will do that before I glue down my poinsettia. And then I thought, ooh, shimmer brush. I want to tap some shimmer brush on there. I don't know if you guys can see it in the camera, but there is shimmer brush on here. And I did that after the whole card was put together, which, note to self, I'm not going to do it where my image is, sorry, where my stamped image, I don't know if that's focusing. I got a dot right there on my R and it blurred it. So now I know not to glue my Christmas down, that I need to do my splatters first. Okay, so that's another aha moment. And then I did glue down some sequins, and I used some of our liquid pearls to add the berries to my twig here. Now, things to make it easier. When I cut this on the Cricut, it had a little red berries it wanted to cut out. I was like, yeah, no way I'm gluing all those little berries down, right? Could you imagine 24 cards trying to glue down all those berries? No. So I thought I'll use my liquid pearls. It's going to be cheaper than using little red enamel dots because it's a whole bottle. I can make them as big as I want. And it's going to be quicker than trying to glue down all of those little pieces of paper. The only thing you got to think of and remember is do this last and then set them out to dry. I'd even leave them overnight maybe, or at least an hour. Let them all dry completely before you start messing with them again. So again, do that as your very last. And then I have sequins. Now, something I look at when I want to embellish my cards is what do I have that I can use in bulk, right? Like the liquid pearls. I could use this in bulk. It's cost me one bottle, and it's not even going to take a whole bottle, so I'm going to have more left over. But then I can do all those berries, and it looks so cute and gives your card a fun texture, a fun element to it that's not on everything, right? And then I thought I still want some little bling around, which using a shimmer brush to do some splatters, right? Again, one tool can do all 24 cards, and it's not going to run out. I'm going to have extra left over, and I'll still be able to have that on every card. So that's an inexpensive thing to do on your cards. And you guys, we have so many colors of shimmer brushes. So there's that. We also have lots of colors that if you wanted this little look of bling around, you could use the liquid pearls or even the stickles. So we have stickles that are glittery. You could do that instead. But because I had already used the liquid pearls, I wanted a different element on here, right? Well, we sell loose sequins, you guys. Look at all those sequins. This could do a lot more than 24 cards. And it's going to give me the look of bling around my card, right? And it doesn't take up a lot of product. It's one bag of sequins to do 24 cards. And like I said, could do so many more. The other thing is this embellishing thread, right? A lot comes on a spool of it. Or I guess this isn't really a spool, but so ribbon, shimmer trim. I mean, shimmer trim self-adhesive, you guys. That's another good thing to put on cards. Think of those things that have a lot in them. Our what are they called? Our bitty sparkles and our clear sparkles. Those are a bulk thing where there's lots of the same sized item. I believe they come in packs of 100, I think. And so that's 100 little things that you could have to put on a card. So that's another thing where it's one product that's going to stretch and go a long way. I hope that makes sense. So that's something I like to look at when I'm making a bulk amount of cards that are all the same. What can I use that it's not going to be too expensive and one package or one item can do all the cards, right? Okay, so that's how I think about what I'm going to do. So I've created a card. I know this is what I want to do. So now I'm going to get to creating those cards. So I went, first thing I did was cut these back white papers and I embossed them. I do one step all in one motion. So I got all of these done. Then I went and cut all my green paper. Went and cut all of my wood grain paper. All while I was doing that, I had my Cricut cutting out my 24 poinsettias and all the pieces needed for that. After I was done with that, I went through and cut all of these pieces for my sentiment. And then I stamped them all in the same, at the same time. So one thing that's really good about that is, you know, I had my Versamat out, my ink, my block, all of that in one shot. You get it done, clean it up, put it away, and it's also going to save you on cleaning up after yourself, clean up along the way, right? Just like when you're cooking. So everything's cut, right? So the next thing I would do is I would go through and we are going to put this together in just a second. I will show you. I would go through and I would have these pieces, right? This is our base. I would lay them all out. And we're just going to pretend like I have 4 because I don't want to do all of them on camera. But I would typically go through and do this on every one of the 24 cards that I'm going to do. Okay. So you go and you'll glue all these down. So we're just going to go through, glue, 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 glue. Now, a good thing about doing all the same thing in one sitting is if you have to take a break and go, say, eat dinner, like I'm going to do here in just a minute, I would finish this part up first and know that all those pieces are done and glued down and I don't forget where I'm at and what I'm doing. Okay, so then those would all be glued down, right? So then I'd be like, okay, so what's the next piece on my card? It's this brown piece of wood grain. So then I would go through and I would lay out upside down my wood grain pieces and put adhesive on all of them. All at the same time. Before gluing them down. Because my runner is already in my hand. Such a waste of time to put glue on one, glue it down, pick up my tape runner again, put glue on it, put it down, glue it down, right? This is getting everything done in one motion. So then I would go through and glue all of those on my cards. Does this make sense? And maybe these are things that you're like, well, Amber, that's, hello. Isn't that how everybody does it? Not everybody, you guys. Not everybody. Some people, this stresses them out. And so I want to give some tips and tricks on how to do those and get them done good. So again, you guys are getting the point, right? We're just going through and doing every layer. All the way through my splatters, through gluing on the thread. When I do my thread, I'll probably do the thread and then put, like, have these taped, flip them over, put tape on them, and then go doing my thread, glue the thread down, and then take a poinsettia and glue it on top of it, just because it's a glue dot. You don't want that to be showing and letting things stick to it, right? So that's how I would do that. Like I said, everything individually at the same time. So each piece of the same, glue it, glue it on your card at the same time. I hope that makes sense and I'm not confusing the heck out of people. Okay, so I'm just going to skew all these pieces over. And I am going to build this card because it is a cute card. And I want you guys to see the way I put it together in case you want to do something similar. Okay, so I have my card base. I'm going to glue that piece down just like we did with the other cards just now. Okay, and remember, I learned all my mistakes from that first one. So there are things in different orders I'm going to be doing things in. Okay, put that there, and then I glued these down. Around the card. I need a new glue. It is running out. Slowly but surely. This thing has lasted me forever. And I keep saying I need a new bottle, but it just keeps coming out. So I keep using it. Because I will use it until the last drop. Okay. Then I need a berry twig. Put that about right there. Okay, now I'm going to do my twine because I remembered. Okay, Amber, do your twine before you glue the front of your poinsettia down. And I'm sure you, if you've watched any of my videos, you've probably seen me do one of these. But the way I like to do it is I like to build my twirly thing, my loop-de-loop on the glue dot. So let's just zoom in for a minute. Okay, so I have a glue dot right there. I'm going to push my thread on the glue dot and simply make loops. And after each loop, push it into the glue dot. Getting your fingers wet and running it along the thread will help get kinks out, which is what I just did. Okay, and then I'm going to cut that because I have my loop. And then I like to use my non-stick scissors and fold that glue dot in half to kind of sandwich the twine in between. Okay. And then I take it off all with using my non-stick scissors because my fingers are going to make it less sticky. And then I'm going to stick it down where I want it. And remember, like I said, that when I go to do these cards, I will have glue on all of these poinsettias and then do the twine individually or on here, put the poinsettia on, and then move on to the next. I think I need to try to move that out just a little. You can also put it on the back of your poinsettia so that you know it's in between the petals. Beautiful. Okay. More pieces to my poinsettias. Glue that together. And And then I did use some of our thin 3D foam dots. On my cards, I always like to use the thin 3D foam tape because I do like dimension. Okay, I do like dimension to my cards. I think it's very cute. However, I don't like the postage that comes along with thick dimension. So thin dimension is good. Okay, so there is, let's just zoom you out just a little. There we have that. I have my twine. I have my poinsettia put together. The next thing I remember, I'm not going to glue this down. I'm going to take my shimmer brush. You always shake them first. And remember, pull, don't twist to get the cap off. I also like to get a juice pile on my all-purpose mat here to make sure that my tip is very juicy. And then I simply tap the shimmer brush over my project. Just gonna clean that up. I would leave that and do all my cards at the same time. By the time you got through and went and started on the first one, okay, remembering not to stack them on top of each other, your first one would be dry enough that you could work and do this next step, which is going to be gluing our sentiment on. Okay, and then to do my sequins, I put glue down first, like so, using a liquid glue. And all the spots that I wanted to have sequins, and then I went and glued sequins down. Okay. And I am just using the gold. I guess you could use the clear ones, but I wanted the gold ones. Put my extra back in. And then we're almost done. So again, the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take these liquid pearls, and everywhere on this twig branch that it looks like there would be a berry, I'm simply going to squeeze out until I cover that spot and then lift straight up, and it will settle and make a round. It won't have that little like ice cream loop. It will go into a round spot. I don't know if you guys can see that. Look how adorable, you guys. Such a simple card, but so much to it. I mean, I have glitter paper, I have sequins, I have liquid pearls, I have embellishing thread, I have splatters from a shimmer brush. It's not just a plain card. There's a lot to it, but there's not a lot to it. I hope that makes sense. They're easy. There's a lot on there without it being too much and without it being too plain. So some of these products are retired. I apologize. I'm using what I have in stock and in my room because A, I like to use what I have, and B, these are my Christmas cards. So I really wasn't planning on doing a video, but I thought I would jump on and do this. So thank you for watching. Thanks for sticking with me. If you have any questions, please leave them down below. Let me know also in the comments, do you guys do card swaps? Do you do page swaps? I would love to hear about that because I like doing swaps and I think it's fun, especially a card swap. So hope you guys have a fantastic December, and I will see you guys in my next video. Make sure to like this video and hit that subscribe button if you'd like to see more like it. Okay, see you guys later. Bye-bye.